Now we continue with the second technique on our list, which is the quadratic equation. This is generally the most easiest because as you have noticed that what makes the first technique much more difficult is the fact that it's time wasting, because you need to go and find the factors, and to some other students it might not be so easy to go and find what the factors are. So here's the quadratic equation. This is the second way of determining the roots or solving for x. This is the same question that we looked at. It's the same example 1, but now what we're doing, we'll try to solve for the roots. But now, instead of trying to factorize, what we'll do is, but we still have to follow the same procedure. We'll try to write this in standard form of 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0, right? Notice that it's something that we need to do often to have this equation written in standard form, because now you see we want to achieve a 0 on this side, because this is the standard form as defined previously. We have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And here we have 2x squared, which is 2 is a, b is minus 5, and c is minus 3. We can write that down. A is 2, right? And b is minus 5. Notice I did not say 5, it's minus 5, because here we have minus 5 instead of a plus 5. So b is a minus 5. And then for c, instead of a 3, we have a minus 3. So for c equals to minus 3. Now initially we would have found, we would have had to factorize, but look at what we're going to do now. Here we have this equations which defines for us what are the roots, or what is the value of x. But bear in mind that this equation works for the quadratic equation. In other words, it works when this is the standard form. So do you see we have a 0 on this side? This is what you will try to achieve, and you will have a value, a constant without an x, and then you will have a coefficient with x with the power of 1, and then we will have another coefficient with x to the 2. So we'll do this. We have x. They tell us that x equals to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So now minus our b is minus 5, right? Plus minus the square root of b squared, but our b is minus 5 squared, minus 4a, our a is 2, right? And then we do this over 2 times a, which is 2, right? Remember, I told you that a quadratic equation only has 2 values of x, because since it's a parabola shape, right, it can be in either way, but it only passes the x-axis twice. So that's why there's 2 signs here, meaning that there can be 2. But for the first case, maybe if we apply a plus, so we'll have a plus there. We'll type our answer on a calculator. That's the nicest thing about this. We're typing our answer on a calculator. Minus 5, right, plus square root of minus 5 squared minus 4. A is 2, right? Forgot to multiply by c here. Our c is minus 3, so I had to multiply by that. So plug that on a calculator. Over 2 times 2. So our first value is x equals 3. And then we're going to change that sign now to a minus. So x equals to a minus half. If you go on the previous calculations, on the tedious method that we've used, we came to the same thing, that x equals to a minus a half and x equals 3. So this method basically brings us to the same answer as we would have if we factorize. So it's basically at times this is the most efficient method, especially if they did not ask you specifically to use factorization to solve the problems, right?